time coming. This is the Countercultural Podcast, Countercultural Life Podcast. It is something that's been in the works now for approximately 4 years. People have wanted me to do a podcast, have been asking me to do a podcast for at least 4 or 5 years. Why? We'll figure that out as we go. Probably because I'm raw and real. I don't play games, all about just talking through things with people, trying to understand the world and those around us. I am real big on wholeness of a person, and we'll talk a whole lot about what that means as we get into this. Wholeness has 4 areas. Those 4 areas of every person are a spiritual area, mental area, an emotional area, and a physical area. And in order to be a whole person, all 4 of those need to be as healthy as they can be. But I don't want to get too far into that. I just kind of want to get into how this came about, what we're going to be talking about, how long these are going to be. This is just the intro episode. We're going to talk about just spiritual concepts. We're going to talk about mental concepts and how we learn. We're going to talk about physical concepts and, of course, emotional concepts. And a relational aspect will come in with those as well. We're going to also talk about current events. As we're filming this today, we have a recent current event. We have a hurricane churning out there in the Gulf towards Tampa. We're going to talk about, how that's affecting not just society, but those around us. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories. We're going to talk about how some of those come into play in the times that we're in. We have an election season coming up on us. It is currently October 8th, I believe, of 2024. We're going to talk about a lot of different things that are affecting human beings. And we're going to talk about how to live countercultural to what culture is telling us how we should operate, how we should live, how we should function in society, because I am a believer in things are not always as they seem, and culture and social media and the media in general tell us we should be acting a certain way. And I believe I'm a Christian. I'm not going to try to proselytize anybody on this show. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my beliefs. And I believe that the greatest leader that ever walked the planet was Jesus Christ. And that's because he was a whole person, spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. And we're going to talk about how he lived countercultural and how we can be living countercultural in this day and age. Once again, not a Christian podcast. There will be a lot of concepts that come straight from the Bible, but don't let that scare you away, because we're going to get real about those concepts. I don't think that in the space that we live in today, people are allowed to ask enough questions. So I am going to invite guests in that do not believe like me, that have different views than me. I'm going to invite other Christians. I'm going to invite atheists, agnostic people, and we're going to have conversations, because I am also a firm believer that we have lost the ability in 2024, and it probably happened a lot earlier than this, to critically think. We are not critical thinkers anymore. We are easy to be offended. We don't think through problems. We don't dialogue with people. We don't have conversations and get to know them. We don't get to know their background and understand them. We don't really even care about what they think a lot of times. We just care about what we think. And I am a believer that in this day and age that we live in, people don't want to hear your opinion. They want to hear their opinion coming out of your mouth. And we got to get past that to fully be the people that I believe we can be, and to have a society that is all about love and support and helping each other. We have to be able to have these conversations. So I'm going to invite guests in. We're going to talk about these 4 areas. We're going to get to know other people. We're going to learn how to have conversations, because I don't think we do that well. And all of these things that have been building up in my fantastical brain for the last over 40 years of life are going to come spilling to the surface in a good way. And we're going to just I just want this to be a space where people can feel free to have an opinion, to convey their opinion without judgment, without having to worry about what people are going to think. I want it to be that type of space. I want it to be a space where we have deep, meaningful conversations and where people grow and learn and just get better. That's all I care about. That's what the last probably 15 strong years of my life have been about. It's been about building leaders and making people better. I feel that my vision for my life, what God has given me, is to help people step into their God-designed purpose, whatever that purpose may be. And I want to spend every ounce of energy that I have seeing that come to life. I want to see people operate in the gifts and talents that they've been blessed with. I want to see people use those gifts and talents to make a difference to the world around them. I want to see this world become the place that God designed it to be, where there's love, where there's tolerance in a good way, justice, peace, mercy for others, grace for others, understanding for others. That's what I really want this to be about. We are going to talk about those 4 areas a lot, and I can break down those areas a little bit more. So I equate that first area, that spiritual area. You'll hear me talk about this. I'll just say it again. So we'll get it in our brains. Spiritual, mental, physical, and emotional. That spiritual area is also very, wait, let me back up. I know I was going to have to edit this out because I'm making a mistake already. So let me do this. Those areas, where did they come from? They came from a lot of study and a lot of prayer and a lot of understanding myself and how I operate. And they also came from these 4 questions. 4 questions that everybody on this planet will have to answer at one point or another in their lifetime are these 4 questions. Origin. Where did I come from? Where did I come from? How did I show up on this planet? That's the first question. Where did I come from? Origin. Morality. Morality is who determines right and wrong? Where does right and wrong come from? And what side am I going to choose? I believe that everybody on this planet has to pick a side while they're here. You either pick good or you pick evil. You got to pick a side though. There's no in between. Morality. Where does that concept even come from though? Where does good and evil even come from? So origin, morality, meaning, why am I here? Everybody asks themselves that question. What is my purpose? Why am I here on this planet? Am I just here to breathe and take up space? Am I just here to do what my parents told me I should do with my life? Am I just here to exist? Why am I here? That's that meaning aspect. So origin, morality, meaning, and destiny. Everyone, from the most non-believing atheist to the most Christ-like Christian person, to the Buddhist, to the Hindu, to the Sikh. I don't even know. That I just made up a religion right there. And that's what also this is going to be about. Look, I don't know everything. I never proposed. I got the word wrong. I never said I would know everything, but I know a little bit, just enough to be dangerous, but we're going to have fun doing it. So whatever religion that you're from, you're going to have to answer the 4th question. Where'd I go when it's over? Is it just fade to black and nothingness? Is it the tunnel of light that people talk about seeing at the end? Is it being dragged off to a place where they don't know where they're going at the end? Everybody has to answer the question, where do I go when it's over? Because that is the only sure thing on this planet. Everybody dies. And what happens when we're dead? So origin, I believe, is very closely associated with spirituality. That origin, that foundation, where did I come from? I believe that's a spiritual place. I believe we are all come from spirit and go back to spirit. Those are my beliefs. So origin, morality, who determines right and wrong? That's also meaning. Origin, morality is that mental space that we're in. So you have spiritual as origin. Morality is that mental space because you use your mind to choose right and wrong. Mind determines culture comes from mind, behaviors come from mind. Mind is where you choose right and wrong. So you have origin, morality. Meaning is the emotional space. We'll talk a lot about identity because that is a key concept that helps humans understand why they're here. Where does your identity come from? And I believe God has designed us with an identity, and we will talk a lot about that. And then that last space, origin, meaning, morality, and destiny. Destiny is that physical space. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Where do I go when it's over? And what should I be doing to take care of my physical body while I'm here? We're going to talk a lot about diet. We're going to talk a lot about exercise. We're going to talk a lot about taking care of yourself. A lot of people are focused on longevity right now. What does that mean? Should I be taking vitamins? Should I not take vitamins? What food should I eat? The big thing that is currently that I've been studying is plastic water bottles. Should I not drink out of plastic water bottles? It's driving me crazy because now I'm being told by some of the science that those are bad for you. We're going to have those conversations. We're going to get experts in here to talk about stuff like that. It is, should I eat eggs? Should I not eat eggs? Oh my gosh. Should I ever eat fast food again? I love to eat Chick-fil-A. I would call that chicken straight from Jesus himself. I love to eat Chick-fil-A. I don't like McDonald's. Is Chick-fil-A bad for you? Is Taco Bell bad for you? Like, we're going to get into these conversations because that's another component of what makes us up, our physical. And I believe that if you are not healthy in any of these, if you're not spiritually healthy, and we're going to talk about what that means, not just, I would even be, like I said, different faith backgrounds, different religions, that spiritual space that you're in. We're going to be raw and real. The dog is going to try to enter a study studio just like he did, but that's okay. He realized that the best producer in the world was here and he was larger than he was, so he chose to leave. And that's what happens. And now, since we don't have enough staff for the producer to tell someone to shut the door, he actually had to get up and shut the door. He does it all. He does it all behind the scenes. You're going to meet him soon. You're going to meet the man behind the scenes that makes this all go, that actually made this dream come to fruition. I can talk a little bit about that. I told this young man that's highly talented, a godly young man that is trying to figure life out himself, told him that I had a vision to do this. And he has stepped up to help make that vision come to life. So this is what this is going to be about. Will I ever be Joe Rogan? I don't care. Will I ever be Seth Godin? I don't care. I don't care. I just want to be the best me possible. And by being the best me, I want to help you become the best you possible. Because I want you to live life all the way to the full. Spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. And we're going to walk through what that looks like. Another aspect of this is talking about biblical concepts. We're going to get into stuff that people are afraid to talk about. We are going to dig deep into Genesis 6. For those of you who don't know, that is there's one verse in the Bible that not a lot of people talk about. Genesis 6, and it talks about the fallen sons of God came to earth and had relationships with women of men. My belief is that has a lot to do with the Bible and certain things in the Bible that we don't fully understand. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to also talk about a Jewish context of Scripture. You will hear me say that Western Christianity has missed it and missed the point of the understanding the Jewish context. The Scripture was written by Jewish people for Jewish people, or Hebrews for Hebrews. And we miss that. We think that in our great, awesome Western American society that Scripture revolves around us. And that is not a belief that I would ever sign up for. I used to sign up for that, but some study, a lot of prayer, and a lot of spending time with the Lord through prayer and silence and solitude has taught me other things. And we're going to dig into that as well. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be laughs, raw and real. I'm not going to be too serious all the time. I believe life is about laughter, so we're going to do that. Talking about those 4 elements and how we live a truly countercultural life by being completely whole, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. I hope this is going to be a short form podcast, 20 to 30 minutes at the most. When we have guests, we'll go longer, depending on how long we end up talking. But I want to always be mindful of attention spans and realizing that in this space and age that we live in, not everybody has that Joe Rogan 4-hour attention span or that Tim Ferriss 3.2 hour attention span. So, and honestly, like I said, raw and real, I'm not that good yet, but we'll get that good because we'll become dedicated to the craft of getting better. Every day a little bit better, every podcast a little bit better. Every time we sit behind this mic, we're going to get a little bit better. And that is also a key concept of life. Every day, just a little bit better. Every day, just one step further. Every single day. And we're going to learn how to build that into our daily routine and processes. Also, these will, I believe, be on the YouTube channel, which will be a countercultural life channel. We're going to do lots of stuff like giveaways and car giveaways and house maybe not. I mean, maybe later. Maybe like Hot Wheel giveaways for cars right now. And house giveaways, pictures of houses. Like, we're going to do a lot of cool stuff because I believe that when you truly step in to your God-designed purpose, miracles happen. And I believe that this is one of the purposes that God has designed me for. And we're going to enjoy doing it. We're going to have fun doing it. And the key thing, and this is going to sound selfish. It's just going to sound selfish. I'm just going to be real. Selfishly, I want to get better every day. Selfishly, I want to learn from those around me. Selfishly, I want to consume every ounce of knowledge that I can in order to utilize that knowledge in the experience of life and therefore become wiser. And that's how you get wisdom. And I want to get wiser every day. I want to look back on these times behind this microphone and in front of this camera as times that when I'm old and gray and when I enter that physical space that we talk about at the end of dust and dirt, that grandkids, if I'm blessed to have grandkids and my kids will be able to let this live on and maybe get a little bit of wisdom from a video or a microphone recording of me behind a microphone. Maybe a little bit of wisdom for them. So this is legacy as well, which I believe everybody needs to be focused on. What is the legacy you're going to leave when you're gone? A lot of us have experienced legacy from other people that we don't even realize. We've all had people in our lives that have left a lasting impression on us. And we remember back to those things they said or those things that they shared with us or those behaviors that they had or the wisdom that they displayed or the way that they just walked this planet. And they became a legacy in our lives. And I believe all of us should be focused on that as well. So, in that note, that last thing I believe I can say, let me check my notes. Super fancy. My notes are on my phone. So I don't think I have anything else. I talked about collaboration. I talked about guests. I talked about the time of the podcast, these 4 areas, and how we use these 4 areas: spiritual, mental, emotional, and physical, origin, morality, meaning, and destiny, to live a counter-cultural life, learning how to critically think, learning how to dialogue, learning that we are all on this big spinning rock together. And while we're here for this short moment in eternity, we should do our best to make a difference, not only for those around us, but for society as a whole. We should walk it out. We should live it out. And by doing that, we will hopefully not be distracted by people going in and out the door right outside, because I had this beautiful flow of thought going right then, and then I just lost it. So we're going to depend on the magic man behind the editing software to edit this out. We should all, while we're here on this planet, be it 70 years, be it 125 years, be it 50 years, 30 years, it doesn't matter. However long we're here, we should live life to the fullest, loving those around us, having great conversations, spending quality time, staying present, focused on making a difference, not burning out, not trying so hard that we burn out, but learning how to live this life at a pace that is both beautiful and inspiring to those around us. With a mindset that is not afraid to have difficult conversations, not afraid to also, through those difficult conversations, love people right where they are. Love people, honor people, and do right by each other. That is how we turn this whole thing around. That is how we love. That is how we learn. That's how we grow. This is the way we're going to do it. We're going to have conversations around these things that make us better. God designed us with a purpose, and our goal is to learn what that purpose is and walk in it. Our purpose is to love God and love others. It's that simple. We make it so hard. We make it about agendas. We make it about selfishness. We make it about pride. We make it about what we want. We were never designed to be focused on what we want. We were designed to be focused on how can I love well. Countercultural life. We don't see a lot of love these days. We see a lot of division. We see a lot of anger, frustration, even hate. And that is counter to everything that God designed us for. So that's what we're going to talk about, countercultural life. Learning how to live this life differently. Learning how to be different, operate different, and be the people that we were designed to be. So that's all we got. That's what we're going to do in Study Studio. We call it Study Studio because we are in the study. I don't call this an office because office means you have to work. Study means you grow and get better. That's what we're going to do. So on that note, me and the magic man behind the camera, the producer extraordinaire, the most amazing 22-year-old that I know. Wait, I can't say that because I have kids. None of them are 22. That's good. So we're in there. Yes. On that note, we're going to sign off and get ready because it's about to go down in a great way. Countercultural life. Be ready. We'll see you next time.